The Science Operations Center on the University of Arizona campus once again played host to the national spotlight as NPR's Talk of the Nation Science Friday set up shop for their most recent broadcast. Hosted by Ira Flatow, Talk of the Nation Science Friday reaches more than 3 million listeners on more than 200 NPR stations.
This is Talk of the Nation Science Friday. I'm Ira Flatow. This hour we'll be talking about our planetary neighbor, that rusty red planet the Romans named after their god of war, Mars. And we are in a unique place to talk about Mars. We're at the Science Operations Center of the Lunar and Planetary Lab at the University of Arizona in Tucson. And just a few yards from me sits a mock-up of the Phoenix lander, which is sitting on Mars. The Phoenix lander is still filling its ovens with soil on the northern plains, but its days are getting shorter as winter rolls in with mysterious clouds and icy diamond dust.
On this day, a small group of local citizens got to participate by asking questions and joining in the discussion alongside UA scientists.
Well, solar power is on our mind these days because we're getting towards fall in the northern plains of Mars, and our solar power center, the sun is dropping lower and lower day by day, and our days are getting very precious. And what we want to do in the remaining days is get a sample of that ice that we've been staring at for the last 3 months into our TIGA oven. We want a really rich, icy sample.
How do you do that?
We have a power tool on the end of our arm called a rasp. It's like a circular file. Instead of a drill, it sends little chips right into the back of our scoop, and then we can deliver to the entry port of our TIGA instrument.
Let's get some perspective. I'd like to ask you, William Hartman, you go way back in this program. You were working with Carl Sagan way back during the Mariner mission, were you not?
I was this very lucky generation of the first handful of scientists interested in planets coming out from the 2 or 3 professors of that era, Gerard Kuiper being my professor. And so my lucky story was I'm sitting in my office at the University of Arizona as a fledgling assistant professor, and my phone rings, and it's Bruce Murray, who was the head of Jet Propulsion Lab. We've got this Mariner 9 flying to Mars. Do you want to be on our imaging team? And you know, today you announce a mission from NASA to Mars, and there's 200 fledgling young PhDs all competing to try to get on that, and there's never quite enough slots for all the people who would like to be doing this kind of research.
Why were you looking at Iceland?
Iceland, okay. A few years back I spent some time in Iceland, but that's
You didn't expect me to ask you that.
No, I didn't.
We're pretty sneaky about it.
Yes. Iceland's a wonderful analog for processes on Mars, and they're all currently active in Iceland. It has active volcanism, active flooding, active glaciers, active wind erosion and dunes. So all the processes that we think have acted mostly in the past on Mars are right there, happening right now in Iceland, and that's a great way to learn about these things.
The discussion touched on various topics about all current and future Mars missions, but understandably, time ran out quickly for such a broad topic.
We'll see you next week. I'm Ira Flatow in Tucson.